Did you know that you can get consistent clients every single day into your business without having to post on social media? You don't need to be a content generating machine showing up every single day. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need 100,000 followers, a viral reel, or a content calendar that runs your life. But you do need to be visible. So how can you achieve that without the daily grind? All you need is one asset, done well, that works for you around the clock. Want to know what it is? It's a webinar. My name is Lisa Hugo. I work with leaders to become influential voices in their niche. And I've grown my own business to 7 figures using the power of webinars. And I teach this exact strategy to my clients. I sat down with a fellow voice and communication coach this week. Someone I genuinely respect. I know from her work that she's one of the best in our field. And she opened up to me about how tough it's been recently, getting clients consistently, keeping her head above water month to month, having anything left over toward her future. She's just surviving, not knowing where her next client is even going to come from. She's definitely good at what she does, but she's old school in her approach to visibility and being online. She only just hired a team to help her with her social media, and it's 2026. Her website doesn't rank, so right now she's relying entirely on word of mouth and whatever the algorithm decides to show a handful of people, which means she's essentially invisible to anyone who doesn't already know her. And I told her, having a webinar could completely change your business by building this one asset that works for you consistently, day in, day out, positioning you in front of the right people who need your help, building your name, building your authority, generating leads and clients without you even having to lift a finger. That conversation is exactly why I'm making this video, because maybe you're feeling the same. Maybe you're in the same position. Let's talk about the problem with relying on social media. It works. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't. It does build warmth. It keeps you visible. It gets you in front of new people, but it's not reliable and you don't control it. You're at the mercy of an algorithm that changes without warning. You're competing with a feed that never stops scrolling. And even on your best day, the day when your reel goes semi-viral, you're getting, in reality, maybe 15 seconds of someone's attention before they swipe past you and they land on a dog doing something ridiculous. 15 seconds isn't enough to build trust. It's not enough to demonstrate real expertise, and it's definitely not enough to sell a high-ticket offer. If you're selling a $100 product, your social content might carry that weight. Low ticket can work with social media because it's a quick decision, it's low risk, and it's an impulse buy. But if you're a coach or a consultant and you're selling a real transformation, something that has a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 plus price tag, your prospect needs more than 15 seconds. They need to get to know you. They need to trust your methodology before they'll ever trust you with their money. And that's exactly where my friend is stuck. She's got all the expertise in the world, but no consistent, reliable way for people who don't already know her to find her, trust her, and hire her. And that's where a webinar comes in. So what makes a webinar so unique? Well, first, it's not just a video on a page, and that is an important distinction. A video on a landing page is passive. People land on it, they can watch a bit, they can get distracted, they can leave, they can even take an action without ever really watching. There's no journey, there's no structure that's pulling them forward. Whereas a webinar uses a specific framework. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's engaging, it's educating, it's inspiring. It's taking someone from, I have a problem, to I understand why, to now I believe there's a solution, to this is the person who can guide me there. It's usually got some form of interaction, so it feels like an event, feels like something valuable that they signed up for. A video on a page never will give you that vibe. And a webinar gives you real analytics, where people drop off, whether they arrive late, whether they stay to the end. That's insight that a static video simply can't give you. This isn't just a piece of content. It's a presentation that is architected to persuade. It's been proven and used by some of the most respected names in the business. Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, Dan Henry, John Pemberthy, Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher, Daniel Priestley. I mean, the list is huge. It can go on and on and on. All the big names use webinars. Why? Because they work. A webinar takes someone on a journey through a story, a belief shift, demonstrated authority. It's something that short form content is never built to do. And the more time someone spends with you, the more connected they feel, the more ready they are to take that decision. And the sweet spot is generally around 47 minutes, which is around the length of a webinar. Sometimes a bit shorter, sometimes longer. But it's something that people commit to, they sign up for, they show up for with intention because they're already genuinely interested. Now, there are plenty of people teaching webinars. Here's where I differ. The webinar isn't the asset. Your voice is the asset. Anyone can write a script. Anyone can build slides. AI can even deliver it now. But the thing that makes a prospect lean in, stay to the end, and trust you enough to book a call is you. Your voice, your presence, your delivery, your tone, your pacing, the pause before you say the thing that matters, the certainty in your voice when you talk about the transformation that you help people create. That's not something that you can outsource. That's you being real, building genuine connection. And when your webinar is automated, it's building that relationship 24 hours a day, carrying your voice and your energy without you having to constantly be in the room. So your voice then becomes the voice of your brand, an influential voice. And my friend has an incredible voice and a gift for helping other people to find theirs. Yet ironically, she's not using her own voice to build her own visibility. Imagine if every day new prospects reached out because they'd spent real time with you on your webinar, already understanding and valuing the transformation that you offer. That is powerful. And you get there because you record this once, perfect it, and then automate it. And that changes everything for your time and your energy. You don't have to go live. You don't have to hope that people will show up. You don't have to have the tech stress. You don't have to force your audience to wait for a date and a time that might not even suit them. Your webinar sits there ready, programmed to run in the next 15 minutes or maybe at 7 o'clock that day. But every time someone registers, they're getting the same version of you, your best version, the one that you rehearsed, refined until your delivery was exactly right. That is set and forget. You do the hard work once with intention, and it works then while you sleep, while you're coaching your clients, while you're living your life, bringing in qualified leads and calls from genuinely interested prospects every single day. Okay, so I've talked about the importance of the webinar, but a webinar with no traffic is not going to do anything for you because no one's going to see it. So this is where simple paid ads come in. And I do mean simple. You don't need a huge budget or to work with an agency on a retainer. And you've got to think it's not a cost, it's an investment. This is a small, consistent spend behind driving the right people to your webinar. And this is not like organic content, which is depending on hope and algorithms. When you're using paid ads, you have control. You decide who sees it, when, and how much. And you can test, you can refine, and you can scale it at a pace that organic simply can't match. And when I say it's an investment, you've got to remember, when you're putting $1 in, you expect to get the clients out the other end. So at least $3 back, $4, $10 if your ads are performing well. They need to be profitable. That's the whole game. So ads leading to a webinar means predictable registrations from genuinely interested people, which leads to calls, which leads to clients. And that combination gives you a marketing engine that you control instead of one you're hoping performs. And here's something else that I want you to sit with, because this can also change the way you see this whole process. Your webinar isn't just going to be a lead generation tool, which is fantastic in itself, but if you do it right, it becomes your signature asset. It becomes your flagship talk that represents you and your methodology. And once you have that built, refined, and proven, well, it becomes then your stage talk, your podcast conversation, your answer when somebody says, hey, what do you do? And how did you get to where you are? You're not just building a funnel, you're building an authority asset. One piece of content that carries your voice, your framework, and your credibility everywhere that you go. So let's tie this all together. Your social presence contributes. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It builds warmth and credibility over time. And I'll never tell you to stop. I mean, look at me. I'm growing my YouTube channel and every other social media channel alongside you. But if it's your only strategy, you're going to need a lot of patience, and you have to be prepared for it to be slow and unpredictable growth until you can crack the code, if you ever crack the code. A webinar that is backed by simple paid ads gives you consistency. It gives you control. And most importantly, it puts your voice, your congruent, influential voice at the center of your marketing, working for you authentically, day in, day out. My friend is brilliant. She just needs the right vehicle for people to discover that. And honestly, so many of you who are watching this are exactly the same. Too good to be invisible. If you want to know exactly how to build a webinar framework around your own voice and authority, one that's designed to position your high-ticket offers, that's exactly what I work with my clients. So go across and watch this video here to understand the full strategy and see how we could potentially support you to grow your authority, your visibility, and your revenue. Okay? I'll see you over there.